Yo, what's up, guys? It is today's edition of the Smacktalking Amigos. We've got to be a bit quiet today.
Yes, we do.
Because we're coming to you live from the quietest library in the world.
Yes, we are.
So very quiet. From the Smithsonian, I believe, in New York.
Yes.
That's where we're coming from. Nice to see you guys. We are, of course, the hashtag Smacktalking Amigos. And as you can see, we're always advancing our wonderful set. Today we have a...
Hashtag Smacktalking Amigos behind us.
Yes! And please do hashtag us and please do let us know. My name is James and this is...
Kian.
Of course, and we're going to talk this week about the WWE as we always do. And this week it was...
First things first, apologies for it just coming a little bit short last week. Chris Jericho heard that we had a list, so he thought it might be his list, so...
I thought it was the best one last week and then it decided to cut short. I thought that might be something to do with your rubbish new phone.
No, through the grapevine I heard Chris Jericho.
Cut it.
Because he heard we had a list. And do you know what happens when you cut us short? He
goes
on the list.
And where's your list?
Goes on the list.
Cutting the episode short. Very good. And you're actually writing it.
Yeah, I am.
You are. Do you want to show them the front of the list?
I will.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, what I will do is show you my predictions championship, which will be on the line this week. Of course, we do have Hell in a Cell coming up, and probably the biggest Hell in a Cell we obviously have. Cutting the list short, Chris Jericho. He's on the list.
Yep, he's on the list.
The list of Davidson.
Yep.
Alrighty. So this week, of course, we do have Hell in a Cell coming out back, which we will have the WWE.
Because it's Hell in a Cell, we'll talk about SmackDown first.
Okay. SmackDown first sounds good to me.
Second.
SmackDown for me this week was disappointing. It was really disappointing. I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks, but this week I just wasn't happy with it. You know.
No, there was no ebb and flow to it. I've got a couple of points about SmackDown, but the main question is, has the Viper joined the Wyatt family?
Well, we saw him RKO Kane.
Or is that just his natural instinct?
And it looked to me like it's his natural instinct. Look, the Viper, you know, Randy Orton is never really a face or heel. He's just a bit between both. Yeah. And he's been playing a very much a face role lately. Yeah. By taking out Kane, does it make him more of a heel? I don't think so. It's not as if there's anyone that loves Kane so much. But is he joining the Wyatt family? Listen, it would be an interesting thing to happen on SmackDown. But it does take out one of their feuds, one of their main feuds.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me of the Daniel Bryan Wyatt family feud when he joined them originally, then turned on them in the end. I hope it doesn't go that way.
Well, I mean, if it does, I just don't see Randy as being as popular as Daniel was. No. Daniel was well over with the crowd by himself. Randy's, of course, a really over superstar, but he's no Daniel Bryan.
No.
Plus, he doesn't look like he fits a Wyatt family.
No. Bald head, no beard.
No, exactly.
But yeah, it does take out one of the main feuds, and with it being so short at the moment, and the fact that James Ellsworth is in the main event, shows that you need two stars. So
well, we said for a while that we would have liked to have seen Randy or Bray going against AJ for the world title, and this does take it out of it. It depends what the Wyatts are thinking of doing, or what they're thinking of doing with the Wyatts. More to the point, are they thinking of building the Wyatts as a huge faction, a la NWO?
Yeah.
Or are they thinking of keeping the Wyatts to 2 or 3 members, with Rowan and with Luke Harper, of course, and with Bray? If they're thinking of building into a huge faction, Randy Orton's a big way to go.
Yeah, it's big star instead of bringing up little stars into the faction like Baron Corbin or.
But did it seem rushed how they did it to you? Because for me, the feud's not been rushed. The feud's been an excellent feud. But I think the way that they went about doing this was a little bit rushed to me. All of a sudden, Randy Orton changes. There wasn't really a huge reaction from the crowd either way. And then there was a small sort of, I think it was Renee Young backstage and Randy Orton having an interview. And Randy said, if you can't beat them, join them.
So.
Which is true.
Yeah, and if you can't beat them, join them, guys.
That's right. And I would be joining the Wyatts if they were after me.
Yeah, so would I.
It's safer to do it that way. Yeah. And they didn't turn up to the Hardy compound this week, which we were so disappointed about. But there were some other really good points on SmackDown that we would like to touch upon. Becky and Alexa looking like a good feud, and Carmella and Nikki in the feud.
Obviously, Natalya went to Raw SmackDown GM Daniel Bryan had said, I want to be captain for the Survivor Series. And Bryan said, if you beat Nikki, you can be captain, but if you don't, you're not on the team totally. Nikki won. She's the captain. Carmella came out, attacked her.
Wasn't it interesting what she won with though? She won with a STF, and it was excellent, and she put it in well, and taking a leaf out of John Cena's book.
Yeah.
Who SmackDown are missing hugely.
Yeah, SmackDown are missing him. He's that big draw. Whenever you take a superstar like Cena Ray, it will be a massive hit for anyone. It's like taking, I don't know if you've got anyone as big on Raw, Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens away.
Or taking anyone away from Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah. Let's face it.
I mean, you could crumble if one person left Liverpool. Of course, Kean, we haven't said this yet, is a huge Liverpool fan, to his own discredit, to be honest.
At least it's better than being a Spurs fan.
Anything's better than being a Spurs fan. So Carmella and Nikki, they got to face each other, and Carmella came out and after Nikki's match, of course, and took out Nikki.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because Carmella's on the Survivor Series tag team as well, whether they can coexist or not.
She's on fire though, Carmella.
Yeah, Carmella, her promo last week was
super
top notch.
So we go on to Alexa and Becky Lynch, the women's champion. Do you think this feud has sort of reached its climax now? I mean, I feel like it's reaching there. I know we've not seen Becky for a few weeks.
It's continued to reach it, but I don't think it will reach it in Glasgow. I think it will go on to Survivor Series. I think they did the right idea by taking Becky out of the match at No Mercy. I think it
gives her a chance to rest up as well.
Yeah.
And I think with we saw on Raw with Sasha Banks, she was taken out immediately and stripped of the women's title.
Yeah.
I don't think Becky needed that. I don't think there's a bigger, apart from putting Nikki straight into the title picture, which I don't think they wanted on SmackDown. I think she's used as a bit of an enhancement style man, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
And Becky is so over with the fans on SmackDown. So over. And I think that's the reason they didn't take it off her straight away and took it off Sasha, because I don't think Sasha's as over with the fans as Becky is.
You love the Irish lash kicker, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And for me, Carmella is, I can't tell you what I thought she was like on this week, because my eyes were clouded by just love. I love.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Okay, you said it.
I'm looking at your eyes when I'm saying it, and you look like you're quite worried, to be honest.
Looking into my eyes and talking about love.
Moving on.
So,
James Ellsworth, again, I said last week, it's enough now.
This is enough because you've got the World Heavyweight Champion in AJ Styles. He's done phenomenal since he came through at the Royal Rumble, what he's achieved in 10 months.
Not just business. There, for the past 10 years he's been across the world.
Vince McMahon has said that he wished he signed him 10 years earlier. But the fact that you are getting an Indies wrestler in James Ellsworth, not one, not two, but 3 times getting over on AJ Styles. He beat him through Dirty Deeds in the first week, beat him via disqualification in the second, and on Tuesday night he hit him with No Chin Music.
But there's so many other wrestlers. Don't get me wrong, as we said, James Ellsworth, for some amazing reason, has got over.
Yeah.
But and we don't want to criticise him for that. But I just think it's run on too long, especially when you look at NXT and we see the rest. I mean, what would have been the difference of having Bobby Roode play James Ellsworth's place? Shinsuke Nakamura take James Ellsworth's place, or even better, have someone who put the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger, who really could have gotten over with the fans, and someone that could have then become a bona fide star. James Ellsworth has apparently been talked about being signed for a proper contract, which isn't such a bad thing. But
and let's face it, if Shinsuke Nakamura came up, and every fan would mark out.
Yeah.
You see Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Which we will see eventually.
We will see eventually, and hopefully it's early next year. Hopefully it's at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania would be a great time to see them. But so Ellsworth hits No Chin Music. Dean Ambrose gets disqualified. We didn't say it was for the number 1 contendership.
Yeah.
If he could win it, Dean Ambrose, he was going to have another shot at AJ's title. And I must say, for Ambrose, me being the most overly critical typical person of Ambrose. I thought this week him and AJ worked brilliantly together.
Yeah. But whereas you are quite happy for him this week, I'm quite critical of him. I thought he was a little bit lazy in the ring this week, in a bit of the moves and spotting.
You thought it was a bit sloppy because I mean AJ hit at one point, he hit that reverse DDT from the top rope, which was one hell of a move. It didn't look that clean.
No, and the reason why I say he looked sluggish was because when he goes back, goes through the middle row, comes up and does a clothesline, he did that so sluggish.
Yeah, for me that move is one of those moves. I see TJ Perkins do something through the middle of the rope as well, and we used to see Rey Mysterio, of course, hits the 619. It's one of those moves that is so set up, that is so obvious.
Yeah.
Dean uses that. I think he should use it once in a match. I think twice in a match. I mean, he went for at least twice in his match. I think 3 times. One of the times AJ reversed it. One of the times he hit it.
Yeah.
Coming off of AJ's triple punch combination.
And let's talk about the baseball kick on James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
No wonder he got no sweet music.
Yeah. I want to say as well for James Ellsworth, he does hit that no chin music
really well. The referee calls for the bell. Yeah. And Dean is standing there. And I'm surprised at Dean he didn't go after James Ellsworth. No. But there's an article in FSM this month about Dean Ambrose on this calendar year and last calendar year on how he hasn't really developed into a main eventer.
I've told you, he's not for me the lunatic fringe, he's just the fringe. And
I think it's partly because he had that main opportunity at WrestleMania against Brock, but he's come onto it in the Stone Cold podcast that Brock was unwilling and lazy to spot. And stiff. He knew that UFC 200 was coming up in a month's time, so he didn't want to spot these huge matches, but in the magazine this month, Ambrose had brilliant ideas for the match. They were going to make it the craziest match in WWE history. Mm-hmm.
And instead, it was a typical Brock Lesnar match, which works against some people, but not against Dean Ambrose.
And they were trying to get him over because no one was in the title picture. Roman wasn't getting over. Seth was out. The only logical explanation was to go to Dean. But then immediately after, they went to a brand split, and
then it just killed the idea.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple more things to talk about for SmackDown, then we have to move on to Raw because we're 12 minutes in, and we've got a big Raw this week. Yeah. I think SmackDown and Raw always slow down whilst the other one's doing a pay-per-view. Do you agree? We've sort of said that, and we've noticed it more so. Particularly the tag team titles this week. Yeah. The Spirit Squad getting an number 1 contendership. You were right. I think they are probably on the main roster now, the Spirit Squad, which I don't think is such a bad thing. Heath and Rhino are over huge still.
Yeah, Heath and Rhino are over huge. Kenny Dijkstra is in amazing shape. Mm-hmm. It was a good match, I thought.
And how good, every time he hits it, is that gore by Rhino?
Yeah, that gore, you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it.
It's like a rugby tackle.
Yeah, even worse.
Even worse than rugby tackle. Listen, we've got other people here now to join the old Smacktalking Amigos. Okay, so let's talk about Raw this week. So Raw was interesting. The first thing I really want to go on to with Raw is Goldberg and Lesnar.
Yes, I think this is the main talking point. With Paul Heyman feuds, when you know Brock is going to come on or Heyman's going to come on, you kind of look forward to them segments. You think that's the standout segment of the night. But Paul Heyman, I wasn't really impressed with his segment. It was probably one of his worst segments he's done.
Well, we've heard that Vince actually wanted to pull the segment earlier and actually pulled it.
Yeah, he did, by just hitting Lesnar's music as Heyman was talking.
He's in the middle of talking, and what Heyman did wrong was he tried to get the crowd to chant Goldberg, and Goldberg's been missing for 12 years. The crowds that are going to mark out at him are people like you and I who saw him when we were young. The kids in the crowd don't really know who Goldberg is.
And let's be fair, it's stupid. You're trying to get Goldberg over by having Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar hit a promo in Minneapolis, where Brock Lesnar is from. Right. So you are going to get Brock Lesnar a chance. Is he stupid? Is he a stupid idiot?
He's a stupid idiot. Writing in the book?
I'm writing him in the book. Vince McMahon for stupid idiocy.
But I think that Vince could have dealt with that a bit better. I think that Heyman probably would have turned round that promo. You're writing the whole thing in the book again?
Yeah.
Very good. I think that Vince probably could have turned round that promo, but he didn't turn around that promo. Oh, sorry, Heyman. And of course, Vince cut it very early. You need to write round the other way round because you need to start writing backwards so people can see it.
Okay.
On Smacktalking Amigos. Can you show them the front of the list? So the list is written backwards. No, the front of the book. So that is written backwards so you can see it the right way around.
Yeah.
Very good. But I do think the match is going to be huge, and now it's been set for some Heaven's
Survivor Series.
I would have liked to have seen it waited till WrestleMania, to be honest, but it's a long way away.
Yeah, it's a long way away. They wanted to get the bandwagon, as Goldberg was on the front cover of 2K17, so they wanted to get the bandwagon going with that.
And are there any early predictions?
We came on to it last week. Does Lesnar?
The Monday slot would be the best.
I don't know.
I think it depends what happens with Goldberg's reactions over the next few weeks. If he keeps on getting reactions like he got this week, I think there's no reason why Lesnar should win.
Yeah.
Vince is always high on Lesnar because he knows how much
money he can get from Lesnar, but Lesnar. Okay, Goldberg is only doing a one-off appearance, but Lesnar only wrestles 13 times a year.
Right.
No, does 13 shows. He only wrestles what, 4 times a year?
4 or 5 times a year, I think, at most.
So yes, it's going to bring you the money, but you want to please the crowd. And having Goldberg get over on him or hit one more jackhammer is going to get him over.
Right, and even if it turns out that they have another match from that,
because we thought Undertaker Lesnar was only a £1 thing.
We thought that was Undertaker's last match, and he's gone on to have 4 or 5 more matches after that.
Yeah.
So the other thing I want to bring up for Raw, and we've got quite a few things, was the $1 billion princess, Stephanie McMahon coming out at the beginning, Chris Jericho coming out in a hilarious segment and saying someone has stolen
his list.
The list.
He thought it was me last week, so he cut it short last week.
And it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. It was, in fact, Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman has stolen the list.
Yeah.
But before he did, Seth Rollins came out and said, I haven't got your list. It's got to be somewhere back in the locker room. I did steal it, but I've left it back there. Yeah. Kevin Owens came back and saying, you know, we don't care about your stupid list, Chris. You should have seen his face when he said that. Was a picture. And saying, I need you to get on the page because we've got a huge triple threat match later where we need to teach Seth Rollins a bit of a lesson.
Yeah. As we have alluded before, Jericho's doing the best work of his career, Mike anyway. And I just thought it was a funny segment. I think Seth Rollins is getting over huge with the fans at the moment.
As a face, definitely.
As a face. We didn't know if he could get over huge with the fans because how he broke the Shield up and all that, Dave Farley, but he's getting over huge with the fans, and I'm glad to see it.
The clever thing is what he's saying that I've got over with the fans, I'm over with the fans, but the reason why I'm doing this and I want the title is because I'm going to try and break the authority down from the inside.
Yeah.
And he believes Kevin Owens is in the authority, and he's been keeping up that. Which brings me to my predictions. So this week at Hell in a Cell, we have Hell in a Cell between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, of course. What do you think?
I know the way I want it to go. I know the way that it will probably go.
Okay.
I'm going with Kevin Owens, if through interference. I don't think Kevin Owens will win clean.
No, I think Kevin Owens through interference. I don't think from Chris Jericho. I think interference from
Triple H.
I agree with you. I think that's my bold prediction as well.
And this is another point I wanted to bring up. Sorry from going away from Raw, but the titles pictures at the moment, not just the Universal title or the WWE title, but US in IC World Tag Team Championships. This feud between Rollins and Owens isn't really meaningful. It's only waiting until Triple H comes in
to further another feud.
Yeah. So this feud, you know what way it's going from the outset. Roman Reigns versus Rusev is just another boring Roman Reigns feud.
But I think it's going to be. I think actually we'll see because we can go on to that. Roman and Rusev have done well with this feud, to be fair. But again,
kudos to Rusev because he got the fans chanting Roman.
Absolutely,
Roman.
Absolutely. But it's come to the end of it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see Rusev winning back his US title because I think they want to have Reigns going up against Kevin Owens. I think they want that at Survivor Series.
with the Roman Empire staying strong. So I'm going Roman.
What did you think of Roman this week on Raw? Did you think he came over well, or did you think he didn't come over well? I'm gonna wear this like who wears this title around his neck like this? No one. No
You.
one. Me. Sorry, you know, can't sit still for a second.
Roman's very hit and miss, hot and cold. It's not his fault that Seth Rollins got injured last year.
No.
It's not his fault WWE brought him forward way too early for the WWE Championship. I think they should have given it to Alberto Del Rio at the time. Out of the 4 that were in the Survivor Series, Del Rio, Owens, Ambrose and Reigns, I think they should have given it to Del Rio.
Interesting, yes.
And I think they should have had Reigns win it at WrestleMania as he was going to off Seth Rollins.
Well, if they could have built up Reigns a bit more. I mean, that's what they didn't do. They just shoved Reigns at everybody and then said, right, Reigns is going to be the new John Cena.
And I don't think it was ideal. I think if WWE knew Seth Rollins was going to get injured, I don't think they would have given Money in the Bank to Sheamus.
No, I don't think. I think Sheamus winning the title was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
From everyone involved. Not because I don't think Sheamus is a bad wrestler. I just think him winning the title was a huge mistake.
Yeah, and I've said, I think in that 5 months from Survivor Series to WrestleMania, the title changed like 5-6 times. It was crazy.
Well, when Roman, Sheamus, Roman, Seth, Brock, Seth.
No, it went Roman, Sheamus, Roman, Triple H 4 times in 5 months. That's
ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Ridiculous. But you think this week, you would say the Roman Empire, I think Rusev's going to win. I think Rusev's going to win, leading for a... So that's our first prediction together. We saw some separate promos from Sasha Banks and from Charlotte, of course.
Yeah, they were signing the contract. Mick Foley did his thing going into Hell in a Cell.
I thought it was impressive.
Demonic structure. It is... I can imagine that life will change once you enter that cell. Once that gate closes. Once Hell Gate closes.
Hell's Gate closes. I think I'm going to put this down as a potential match of the year.
Yeah, they have the potential match of the year. I hope WWE aren't too cautious with them.
I hope they're not too cautious, and I hope they give them a chance to be to really show their skills off, and to give them some time. Let them build this. Let them go for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any interference.
No. I'm hoping that Bayley and Dana will have a match on the card as well, whether it's pre-show or...
If they do, would you have Dana win or Bayley pick up a win? I mean, I would like to see Bayley pick up a win, but I think it would further the feud.
Yeah, it would further the feud more. I think it's too easy to give Bayley the win. I'd like Dana to get the win.
And I think Bayley having the win doesn't really matter to Bayley because I think she will be over regardless. I think Dana has done very well since she started with Charlotte in getting over as a heel.
Yeah.
So predictions for Sasha Charlotte, my friend, after watching them talk this week.
It's obviously in Boston, Mass, Sasha's hometown. So how much heat would Charlotte get if she won? Would be immense. That is a way that things has to be looking, but you can't go further than the boss. I'm going with the boss to win.
I've watched them change titles a couple of times recently. In terms of changing hands, I don't think it's cheapened the title.
No,
which
I don't
is huge.
think it has.
So for me, I'm going for the Nature Girl.
Okay.
Going for the Queen. I'm going for Charlotte. Because I think she's more interesting with the championship than Sasha is. I think it gives the championship more scope for stuff. Wouldn't it be interesting if Nia Jax got involved in some way, who we haven't seen for weeks? I don't think she will, but I think it's going to be a clean match, and I'm going to go for a Charlotte win with a figure 4 leg lock or figure 8 right in the middle of the ring. I'm
going Sasha Banks with the bank statement. Bayley comes out, celebrates, and she turns on Bayley.
Sasha.
Setting up a Bayley-Sasha feud, and Sasha will turn heel and fulfill her true potential.
Wow. Okay. We saw a bit of a random match that's going to take place at Hell in a Cell, and that is Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows, the Bullet Club.
Who needs to get over more on this one? This is difficult. You can't split this with her.
I think in reality, I think that Anderson and Gallows need to get over more. But for me, I think Anderson and Gallows have been a bit of they seem to suck the life out of things at the moment.
Yeah, they've kind of died since they've got split up. I think that was one of WWE's mistake at the brand.
Taking off AJ from them,
Yeah.
I agree. I think if they face each other, I would go for a prediction that Gallows and Anderson will pick up the win just because they're coming off of a loss on the way in.
Okay, I'm going with Enzo and Cass.
And I love Enzo Cass.
Yeah, I'm just going with Enzo and Cass because they need a bit of momentum.
Did you like them with the in-ring work this week when they got the mics turned off and they still managed to do the
Yeah.
I'm Enzo Amore? I thought that was a really, really cool segment. I haven't seen something like that done. It was, again, them doing something different that you haven't seen from other wrestlers in the past or any other tag teams. Of course, we then have the other huge tag team match.
Yeah.
Do the New Day, do they sort of, do they equalise with Demolition's record or go past Demolition's record? Or do they lose the newly formed tag team, Sheamus and Cesaro, who are getting over pretty big at the moment?
That's the thing that I would like to bring up. How did you feel that two potentially title matches took place on Raw a week before Hell in a Cell?
I was disappointed to see the triple threat.
Yeah.
Disappointed to see the triple threat, 100%. I wasn't disappointed to see the tag team title match because with the New Day, because it's Freebirds rules, they mix it up, and we've seen them mix up loads before. It's not like it's not as if this is something. Oh, all of a sudden the New Day are mixing up. This is unusual. We've seen them do it before. We've seen them have this sort of match before, and we've seen them go in losing a match before.
Yeah.
But the way that Sheamus and Cesaro won, the fact that they're two singles wrestlers and it's obvious, the fact that they're working together but against each other, really gives us something impressive to see.
Yeah, and that was a point that I meant to bring up on SmackDown. How good would Orton and Wyatt be as a tag team?
Oh, huge, amazing.
That'd be like 10 folds of crazy right there, guys.
And not only that, it would sort of, in the same way that Sheamus and Cesaro have, it'll help them fulfill their potential.
Yeah.
But quickly, let's get on to what we think from that match. Do you think the New Day are going to walk out as champions, or do you think we're going to see new tag team champs?
I'm going to say that on Monday it will be a New Day, and unfortunately the New Day will still be tag team champions. I don't think Cesaro and Sheamus need to do it. I think New Day win by a dirty finish, giving them a feud at Survivor Series. And then Sheamus and Cesaro will take it off them at Survivor Series.
I think you could be right. No, I think you will be right, actually. I think that's not a bad idea. And I think we'll see Cesaro and Sheamus go into Survivor Series as faces.
Yes.
And New Day go in as heels, because they could make that transition very, very easily. Coming up to 27 minutes, so that seems to be all of the matches. I'm trying to think if we missed out any matches, perhaps from Hell in a Cell. Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn. I think Destruction is going to be running rife at Survivor Series, and I think you're going to see the emergence of Braun Strowman as a potential main eventer.
I do. I think if anyone can do it, Sami can do it for Braun. So I'm going with Braun Strowman. They are all of our predictions. I don't think I've missed anyone out.
I don't think so. And
TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, is it?
Yeah, that's the Cruiserweight Championship. We'll talk about it pretty quickly. Brian said, I need you to lie down for me this week. I need you to lie down. I can't have you winning. And TJ just looked at him. I think we'll probably see Brian Kendrick winning it, to be honest with you. And I think we'll see it in a dirty way. And I think we'll probably see someone introduced that can go alongside Brian Kendrick. I do think we're going to see a few matches that aren't going to finish clean this week.
Yeah, I do. I think we'll see quite a few interferences. And I'm going to go with, Brian Kendrick will beat TJ Perkins.
Brian Kendrick.
The Brian Kendrick. You've met him, of course.
I have met Brian Kendrick, and with Paul London.
Yes.
And it was very, very nice today. Very, very nice. So, this might be yours next week, Ian. I doubt it, to be honest with you. But this is... This...
Low-key Miz fan, yeah?
...is our production... Low-key Miz fan. Our production belt for our prediction championship. We of course have been hashtag Smacktalking Amigos. We're happy that didn't end quickly this week.
Yes. Obviously Chris is happy he's got his list this week.
Chris is happy he's got his list. Please do follow us, please do like us, please do share us as much as you can. We shall see you all next week. Anything left to say?
No, hold tight to that belt. I've still got it.
Peace.
And always follow Connor's Cure.
That's right.
Please.
Always follow Connor's Cure. Peace, guys. See you later.
Peace.